from the Mercy One studio.
Support for Faith on Trial and Iowa Catholic Radio provided in part by Imogene Ingredients.
Our freedom of conscience and religion is being challenged by laws and regulations imposed by secular society. It's time to hear from the top Christian litigators in the nation who have come forward to tell us the truth and help us defend our faith.
Hear ye, hear ye. All rise. Faith on Trial with Defender of the Faith, Deacon Mike Mano, is in session.
And good Thursday morning from the Iowa State Fair. We will be here this week and next week. I'm Deacon Mike Mano. I'm here with Gina Knoll. Gina, how are you this morning?
I am well.
And a little warm yet.
Yes.
And just as we go in the air, they're singing the national anthem.
They're starting the programming, yes, with the national anthem.
So you may be hearing some background noise. And if you're lucky, we'll get a whiff of some corn dogs that you can get over the radio.
Well, they have quite a bit of barbecue I can smell cooking over here.
That's right. So we're going to be a little bit different today. We're not going to be talking to a attorney that's ready to walk into the Supreme Court chambers to argue a case. We're going to be talking with Tom Bradley, who is the, what are you, the chairman of the Deacon Council, Tom?
Coordinator of the
Deacon Council. All right, because we are sharing our tent here with the deacons. And the deacons are going to be out here with Iowa Catholic Radio all week long.
It's a great ministry for evangelizing to the fairgoers and Iowans and people here from out of state. It's a wonderful opportunity to advertise Iowa Catholic Radio and all the programming we have.
And we are sitting here right in front of a sign that says the deacon is in. So we are near the Bill Riley stage.
Well, if you're at the fair, we have fans, and it's supposed to be hot, so come grab a fan.
That's right. Come grab a fan and a prayer sheet and a bunch of other stuff that we have here, and maybe even when the priests get here, make a confession if you'd like.
That's right. We have a confession booth also.
That's right.
All full service activities at the fair.
That's right. Gina, you had a sheet with some Olympic news.
I did. I brought it. Hold on a minute. Sorry about that. The Olympics ended this week.
Okay.
And so I noticed that there were quite a few athletes, not just representing their countries, but also representing their faith and giving credit to God. And I thought maybe we could highlight a couple of the handful of Americans who had done that. Krista Palmer won the bronze in the 3-meter springboard diving. Excuse me, which is a sport close to my heart. Loved watching her.
That's right, your daughters.
Yeah, both of my daughters were divers. So she was the first U.S. female to finish on the podium in an individual event since 2000.
Now,
according to the athlete, Miss Palmer, she said she competes in Jesus' name and credits God for her victory.
Good. Now, what Olympiad are your daughters preparing for?
They're just simply having fun in high school,
okay.
honestly. The camaraderie and competition, they love that.
Okay.
But they're not headed for the Olympics.
Okay.
In fact, neither of them really even wanted a college scholarship, so sadly.
Yeah. Oh.
They were good, but that wasn't their vocation.
Well, that's too bad. We're taking some financial pressure off you if they got a scholarship for that.
Right.
Got to push them a little harder, Gina.
Right. Kenny Harrison missed the 2016 Olympic, but she won the silver in the 100-meter hurdles this year. She says she's living proof that God can work all things, even in our failures, together for good. She wrote, in 2016, I allowed self-doubt to determine my destiny and became a victim to track and field press. But God, as I gained a deeper connection to God, each year I noticed my faith conquering all doubt. So
good.
Just beautiful. I don't know, do we have some time to do a couple more? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. There's Tamira Mensah-Stock. You've seen her quite a bit in the news because of her support for her country, the United States, and expressed her gratitude to God when she won her first gold medal in Tokyo. So she became the second woman and the first black woman to win an Olympic wrestling gold medal for Team USA in the women's 68 kilogram.
She's going to be in a
freestyle.
box of Wheaties, I predict.
Hopefully she'll be a good representation of the United States in all kinds of things that she does going forward. And then there was Sydney McLaughlin, who won the gold medal in the 400-meter hurdles. You might have seen her. She set a world record with a time of 51.46. Can't imagine. After the race, she gave all glory to God. And additionally, before the race, she quoted the Bible verse about iron sharpening iron when she was referring to her teammate, Delia Muhammad, who earned the silver medal in that same race.
Very good.
And the last one of my favorite athletes in this Olympics was Caleb Dressel. Do you remember him? He was the swimmer, very decorated. He won 5 gold medals, and then he credited his Christian faith as the driving force behind his desire to press forward in his sport.
Good. Well, to demonstrate our Christian faith, do you have a prayer to open us up with?
I do. A prayer for peace this morning. God of peace, bring your peace to our violent world. Peace in the hearts of all men and women, and peace among the nations of this earth. Turn to your way of love those whose hearts and minds are consumed with hatred. Strengthen us in hope, and give us the wisdom and courage to work tirelessly for a world where true peace and love reign among the nations and in the hearts of all. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Gina. Appreciate that. You're listening to Faith on Trial on Iowa Catholic Radio. We will be right back after these messages.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by CTO. Your support has helped thousands of students attend our Catholic schools. CTOIowa.org. At CTO, the bottom line, it's for the kids and their future.
Thank you, Big Red Q Quick Print, for underwriting the sports report. Family owned and operated since 1980, Big Red Q Quick Print is a full-service print shop ready to help you with all your printing needs with speed and accuracy. Forms, manuals, brochures, letterhead, envelopes, business cards, custom invitations, design, and bindery. Big Red Q Quick Print, located across from Merle Hay Mall. Online at bigredq-desmoines.com. Big Red Q Quick Print. We make printing easy.
Thank you, Caldwell Parish, for underwriting Iowa Catholic Radio. Conform to the wishes of the deceased and to Catholic liturgical burial traditions. Caldwell Parish Funeral Home, Des Moines' only Catholic-owned and operated funeral home. CaldwellParish.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio and Catholic Women Now provided in part by Marr Security, providing security solutions for homes and businesses since 1953. Marr Security is a Catholic-owned family business supplying security systems, access control systems, video surveillance, fire alarm systems, and video doorbells. All alarm systems are monitored out of their monitoring center located in the state of Iowa. Marr Security, 515-244-5660, PermarSecurity.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio and Faith on Trial provided by Paul Martin and Paul Mitchell, owners of Imogene Ingredients. Imogene Ingredients supply specialized feed ingredients for livestock and pet diets to improve maternal and young animal health in both conventional and organic production. Listening to Faith on Trial, Iowa Catholic Radio. We are back with Deacon Tom Bradley from the Deacon Council from Des Moines, the Diocese of Des Moines. How are you, Tom?
I'm doing great, Mike. It's good to be here.
Yeah, well, we're all out at the fair. It's the first time we've been out at the fair in over a year now, since there wasn't one last year, so it's nice to be here. Let's talk about the deacons and the deacons' booth that's set up and the table that's here, because you're going to be here all during the fair.
Correct.
And we want to let people know that where they can find us. I'm kind of in both tents here.
Yeah.
we're with the Iowa Catholic Radio tent and the Deacons booth. So
you have 2 hats
I
this
have
week,
2 hats
Mike.
this week. Yeah, that's right. So why don't we talk a little bit about what you are doing out here?
Sure. Kind of the beginning of this, back in the Year of Mercy was coming up, back in around the 2015, 2016 time frame. I was on the Bishop's kind of advisory group there and looking at things we could do. And if you recall, back in those days, Pope Francis was putting out documents about going to the peripherals, going to the edges, and meeting people where they are. And he also said, well, we clearly need to go out and smell like the sheep. That was kind of the buzzwords that was going around back in 2015, 2016. And so in thinking what deacons could do to assist in this Year of Mercy, I thought, well, smell like the sheep, certainly the state fair
fits that perfectly.
And we have all these people going through for different reasons, may have a faith, may not have a faith. Just seemed like a logical connection to come out here and link up with Iowa Catholic Radio and be here. So since 2016, our first year out here, we've been out here with the deacons and priests the first year we didn't have really too many priests, but I thought, well, let's expand it to reconciliation. And so from 2017 until, and again this year, we'll have priests occasionally out here to offer reconciliation for those who are passing by. A nice surprise.
Yeah. Now, yeah, it certainly would be. Go to the fair, go to confession, and yeah. The deacons from the Diocese of Des Moines are primarily the ones that are staffing this booth, but I understand there are deacons from other dioceses in the state?
That's correct, yeah. From the very beginning, I thought it was a good idea to since it's an Iowa State Fair, not a Des Moines State Fair.
Right.
So we invited all the deacons from all the different dioceses to come. Eventually, we don't have a lot. We usually get a good representative from the Dubuque Diocese, and we'll have several of those here this week. And we had a lot of candidates from the Sioux City Diocese. They were going through candidates, so they came here as candidates, and now they were just ordained a month or so ago, and so they're coming out here as deacons for the first time. So it'll be very interesting. Yeah.
It'll give them time to spend at the fair. Also, I mean, it's a good excuse to come down to Des Moines.
It is, and it's a great ministry. I mean, just to be here and to welcome people. It's a very low-key, welcoming time. We have rosaries, which we have to bless. We have this year, last couple of years, we had Disciples of Christ. This year we have Serve with a Heart Like Jesus, little wristbands for the kids and for adults who might want those. Of course, the Iowa State Fair, Pope Francis fans are always a popular thing to have out here also. So
yeah, I've seen those all over now. You go in the Varied Industry Building, you go up in the cattle barn, wherever you go, there's somebody that's waving the Pope in their face. Yeah,
it's real popular, and just over the years to have the interactions, some are very lighthearted interactions with kids and with adults, but occasionally we have some people who obviously, like most of us, have family members who are either sick or having problems, and so one thing we want to do always is to offer them, to pray with them for some particular reason. So it's always one of our things that we end with is there anything we could offer prayer for? And then if they do, we pray with them right then and there. So it's not like we'll pray for you, next week or next day. We're going to pray for them right here. So it's been very rewarding for me and the deacons who have been out here, even the lay people who come out. It's a very amazing thing. People are surprised to see Catholic.
That's what I was going to ask. What's the reaction of people walking by and look over and they see the Pope standing here behind me? And
well, if they're Catholics, they're kind of like, well, so glad to see Catholics out here. We're kind of we don't have our past is to be out and about, not to be stuck in our parish offices and waiting for someone to come to us. Our mission is to go out to where the people are, all right, and be God to them and Christ to them where they are. We've kind of, unfortunately, gotten to the point where we just kind of sit in our offices and somebody shows up, that's great. That's not the way we started. And so this is a great evangelization, just to be out there. And people say, oh, I'm so glad you're here. Catholics are out here at the fair. That's amazing. So it's been a good reaction from Catholics, and then to non-Catholics just to come by. 2 years ago when we had this, we had the workers at the different food booths found out we were here, and we must have had 20 or 30 people come throughout the week for rosaries and blessings. The word got out among the vendor people, and it was amazing. They go to reconciliation. So it was really. Did
they bring food? That's the big thing.
Not too often. I think one person was nice and came back like the fifth time and brought me food. Okay. After coming back, and he'd go and he'd bring somebody back, all right, from a co-worker, and they come back and get a rosary or something, and so he was an evangelist in his own right. So I was really happy to do that. Yeah.
This is my kid. Where's the priest? He needs confession.
Well, not so much of that, but there's mostly just like teenagers, like 20-somethings. So that was really amazing to me.
What a beautiful ministry.
That wow, these guys are hungry for the Lord, and here we are. So whatever little bit we can do for the Lord is wonderful.
We have a great location. We're sandwiched between the entertainment at the I forget the name
of
that.
Bill Riley
Stage, yes. And then to the west, we've got
Varied Industry Building,
right, and we've got all the food vendors right behind you. So
exactly so, yeah. So you're going to get to see all the talent sprouts here later on in the week. They just did the twins this morning, so it's an interesting spot. But we're in the shade, so if you're looking for us, we're just behind the administration building, to the south of it, right to the east. To the west of the Bill Riley Stage and the west of the Varied Industry Building. So
easy to find.
In the shade.
Easy to find in the shade. Right. It sounds like the times that you've been out here, we've had a pretty good response to the deacons.
very nice. It's been very wonderful. And he has.
Now, the question that I have for you, which I think a lot of people that are listening might want to know, is what does it deacons really do? I mean, they see us sometimes on the altar during Mass, reading the gospel. Once in a while we preach. But other than that, what is it that we're around for?
Sure. Well, we are the servants. The original part was to help those who in need, primarily the poor and those who need to be fed. That's developed over the years, but certainly our ministry from the altar encourages us and strengthens us through the Word and through the sacrament, all right, to go out, right, and to lead others out. So often when a deacon is assisting at Mass, he is the one who will do the dismissal. Often, go in peace, glorifying the Lord by your life is one of those. So the whole process is from the Eucharist to go out into the world and engage the world like we're doing right now here at the State Fair, to not just take your faith internally, that's great, but to actually take your faith out into the world. So the deacon is one who does that. He leads people out in the world. He may do prison ministry, he may do hospital ministry, he may visit nursing homes, he may work on pro-life issues, the myriad of things that are out there. But because most deacons have a secular job of some kind, they embody what a Catholic, what a Christian is in the world. So hopefully they will be that person who, well, this is how a Christian acts in the world. This is how a Christian treats people in the world. This is how a business person or a lawyer or a professional or a blue-collar worker, this is how they interact. They love the Lord, and they're joyful. And so hopefully the deacon is doing that.
Yeah, you mentioned, just mentioning before we went on the air, I was supposed to be down in court this afternoon. Fortunately, we got a continuance, so I'm going to have an opportunity to wander the fair and see what's going on. But what you talk about, the deacons being out in the world, I think is something that people want to keep in mind, because I know, for example, I do a lot of hospital visits. Now the hospitals are open again for us to come in, and we do a lot of things out where people don't see us. Those things that sometimes the priests don't have time to do because they're ministering a parish or a school or whatever, and we usually do have that time to get out, free time to get out and to go visit people in the hospital, visit people at home, make home visits and things like that.
Yeah, it's absolutely it's a great life. It has its great joys. Obviously, like anything else, there's challenges, but just to be with people in their best and their worst times. I had the blessing of being with a young teenager as he was going through cancer, and to be at the home right after he died with his family, with him there in the house, and having the prayerful time and having the people come in, just being with people in those hard times and in those joyful times. 3 times
I've had to go out and do the commendation for the dying, and 2 of them were with non-Catholics. And it's something about being there as their loved one is getting ready to meet the Lord. I know every time I went through that prayer, there wasn't a dry eye in the room when I left, whether they were Catholic or non-Catholic. And being there with people in their time of need is something very important for the church to do, and that's one of the things that deacons do.
Just being available to be called, but like say, hopefully you will be called, and we're not as called probably as often as I would like to be called. I can remember several years ago being called to a home the wife was Catholic, the husband was not. He had been ill for a long time, so he was living in a hospital bed kind of in the living room, and I had visited him a couple times, and he was close to death, and I asked if he wanted to be baptized, and he said yes. And so I was able to baptize him before he died. So those are the great just being available is wonderful.
So you'll be here all week.
I'll be in
2 weeks.
I'll be in and out. Hopefully, I have pretty good coverage this week, so
very good.
I'll be able to see my wife.
And if our listeners have questions about being a deacon, or
that's right,
how they can be more engaged with their
or how they
can
get on the radio if they want.
Yes.
Speaking of being on the radio, we got to take a quick break right now. You're listening to Faith on Trial on Iowa Catholic Radio. We'll be right back after this.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio and John Leonetti in the Morning is provided by Blessman International. Blessman International partners with volunteers and donors to provide sustainable programs for children in South Africa by leading 12-day all-inclusive experiences, sharing the heart of Christ with vulnerable children in South Africa. Teams are forming to do something significant in an African child's life. Learn more at blessmaninternational.org. Thank you to Blessman International for their support of Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio provided by Divine Treasures, a Catholic book and gift store serving the Des Moines community since 1992. Divine Treasures, 5701 Hickman Road, Des Moines, 515-255-5230. Thank you, Divine Treasures, for your support of Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio and the Uncommon Good provided by Mercy College of Health Sciences, where you can chart your course for more.
This is Bo Bonner.
And I'm Dr. Bud Marr from the Uncommon Good.
Mercy College provides unparalleled clinical rotations, hands-on learning, accelerated education, and flexible schedules. Since 1899, Mercy College has been transforming students into healthcare professionals. Guided by Catholic values, our faculty put classroom theory into practice. Students are prepared for roles in service and leadership throughout their own careers.
Learn more at mchs.edu.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio and John Leonetti in the Morning provided by Bell Construction.
Bell Construction is a roofing company. They specialize in residential re-roofs, like commercial jobs, and have the experience to meet all of your roofing needs with personal service. With Bell Construction, the owner will come to your home or place of business in person to inspect and ensure the quality of work that you deserve. They pride themselves in working with you on a personal basis and making sure you are satisfied. Bell Construction, 515-963-4494. Bell Construction.
Faith on Trial on Iowa Catholic Radio, and Gina, this week and next week we're going to be a little bit different fare at the fair.
At the Iowa State Fair, that's right.
In the studio, but we do want to bring you up to date in a couple of things, and one of them is the largest teachers union in the country has filed a lawsuit against a Rhode Island mom to block her numerous requests for public records regarding her school district and critical race theory. In April, Nicole Solis emailed the principal of her school at South Kingston School District asking for the kindergarten curriculum and whether it would include teaching children politically charged materials, including those influenced by critical race theory and gender theory, holding them out to be true. She immediately faced stonewalling from the school and even a threat of legal action for asking too many questions. Ultimately, she received a bill from, I guess, the school district for $74,000 to fulfill the public records request.
Amazing that they stonewall her like that. They're real reticent, and I'm hearing other stories about schools reticent to provide that information.
That's right.
And trying to keep the privacy of the teachers intact, which I'm not
quite. Yeah, this is the teachers union that's filing this. I don't know why, because the teachers union isn't asked to fill the request. It's the school district that was. But this goes along with what we talked about last week on the program with Bonnie.
Interviewed Bonnie, a teacher actually who was being sued by or fired by the school.
That's right.
Revealing information about what's going on in the classroom.
And then the Justice Department has declined to defend conscience rights. The Department of Justice has declined to pursue a case against the University of Vermont Medical Center, a suit that the government initially filed last year after a former nurse alleged she had been forced to participate in an abortion procedure despite her objection. In December of last year, the Justice Department Civil Rights Division under the Trump administration filed the lawsuit, but Biden's Justice Department announced that it had dropped the case, effectively permitting the medical center to get away with what the nurse alleges was a blatant violation of her conscience rights and law. So
unbelievable. And I know that there are quite a few states passing legislation now to override some of this federal nonsense to give our medical providers the opportunity to practice their conscience rights.
This is one of the things that we've seen over the past couple of years, where medical providers, especially nurses, are literally dragged in to help an abortion procedure.
Well, I worry about the Biden administration and the medical profession anyway, because it sounds like there's more and more of these conscience rights being violated, even by doctors. And as we move towards, Canada has the problem with euthanasia as legal and forcing the doctors to participate in that. So we'll have to stay on top of this.
Yeah, we will. It's easier to do it from the studio.
That's right.
And then finally, COVID-19 survivors have broad long-term immunity. People who have received COVID-19, who have recovered from COVID-19 retain broad and effective long-term or longer-term immunity to the disease, according to a new finding, which is good for me because I've had COVID.
I know this is an important piece of information
and
for you.
one of the things that we have a problem with is all the talk about forcing people to take vaccinations. Nobody really is talking about what do you have if you've got the natural immunity. My doctor says it's better than having the shot.
That's right.
All right, I think it's about time to go now. I'm getting a heads up. Oh, I'm fine?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we're fine.
Well, I think that the religious exemption to some of the vaccines also are being, at least in the Catholic Church, some of the priests said they weren't going to back up their faithful, and we need to kind of keep on top of that.
Yeah, the bishops in Colorado have posted a letter that you can use online, have your pastor sign it as a conscience protection against taking the vaccine.
If you choose to use that.
If you choose to use that.
I know that the ethically produced vaccine is still not available. It was supposed to be in middle of July, but now it's been postponed and postponed and postponed, so I don't know what's going on with that. I know some faithful are waiting for that vaccine to become available.
Yeah, and the one vaccine that's out now, the J&J, Johnson & Johnson vaccine, has been condemned by the church.
Oh, it had been.
That one has been. The other two,
right.
They're saying it's okay.
It's too remotely
it's
from
too
the
remote.
fetal tissue to be.
But for a lot of people, you can't get remote enough from aborted fetal.
Exactly. Exactly. So we'll have to watch for some of those conscience rights related to the vaccine.
I imagine we'll have plenty to talk about in the upcoming season here.
Next year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
And these mandated vaccinations, there's a lot of legal cases also, so we'll have to watch some of those in future
right now,
shows.
remember that vaccine is still temporary. It's still an emergency use. And but that will probably change within the next month or so, which will make it easy for them to force the vaccine mandate on everyone.
Well, we'll keep it. Well, you'll hear it here if it happens.
And we will be back here again next week from the Iowa State Fair.
Right. Stop by, say hi if you're
on Thursday morning. Stop by, say hi. Our local programming is coming from here, so stop by and say hello to people. So let us end with our prayer to St. Michael. St. Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our defense against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, thrust into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who wander about the world seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. For Gene and myself, thank you for listening. We will be back again from the fair next week. In the meantime, you have a blessed and peaceful week.
Thanks, Gene. Our freedom of conscience and religion is being challenged by laws and regulations imposed by secular society. Faith on Trial, with Defender of the Faith, Deacon Mike Manno. Faith on Trial, Thursdays at 10 a.m. on Iowa Catholic Radio, iowacatholicradio.com, and the Iowa Catholic Radio app.